of US imports worth a staggering $23 billion in what could be the country's biggest tariff cut in years. This move comes as part of a trade deal currently under negotiation between the two nations. What's the aim of this? To fend off reciprocal tariffs imposed by the Trump administration, set to take effect from the 2nd of April. India estimates that these tariffs could impact a massive 87% of its total exports to the US, valued at $66 billion. As a part of this agreement, India is willing to lower tariffs on 55% of US goods it currently taxes at ranges between 5% to 30%. Now, if finalized, this deal could significantly reshape trade relations between the two countries. Listen in to what a whole panel of experts have to say on likely tariffs on pharma and other exports. Well, all right, we'll get you the word from the Vice coming in just a bit on that, but let's also take it across to my colleague Rabinder, who's joining us with a whole list of stocks that are in focus in today's trade.
Well, Kalpataru project is in focus where company has received an order of rupees 2,366 crore in power transmission, distribution and building and factory segment. With this new order, company's order intake in FY25 has reached to 24,850 crore. Moving to HCL Technology, where also in focus where Western Union's forms a strategic partnership with HCL Tech to transition to an AI-led platform operating model. HCL Tech and Western Union to set up a new India-based technology center to foster innovation. Apart from this, Garden Rich Shipbuilder were also in focus, where company has signed a MOU with has signed a contract with Germany-based company for construction and delivery of the 7th and 8th 7,500 DWT multi-purpose vessel. The overall contract value remains an approximately $108 million with no change in financial terms. And lastly, cement stock were also in focus, where UBS has come out with a note on cement sector, where they say that the tough phase is nearing its end, with earnings is expected to pick up in FY26, and strong earning growth is projected between FY25 to 27, and demand is set to recover in FY26. They have upgraded the Ultratech to buy from neutral and hiked target price to rupees 13,000 from 9,000, and on ACS Cement they have maintained their buy rating, but they have cut the target price to 2,250 from 2,450.
Okay, Rabinder, thanks so much for taking us through that. But once again, let's shift focus and talk about the tariffs that we were talking about in India's potential cut on the tariffs that it charges the US in order to dodge the reciprocal tariffs from the US that come into play from the 2nd of April. We did promise you that we have a whole host of experts who have given their views on this. Let's go across and listen in to what they have to make about this big development coming in on our trade front.
If they want to do a tariff, increase in tariff, obviously it will affect both the parties. One is the countries or the companies that are supplying, their cost will go up. And similarly, many of the drugs, the cost could be passed on to the patient, so it may have an increase in the inflation. Or it's also an opportunity for relooking at the supply chain efficiency. So it's going to be a very dynamic changes that has to happen. But the implication is for sure, immediately there will be a challenge in terms of the cost increase to the receiver. In this case, it is US.
India has always had high tariffs, right? Okay, why? Because we wanted to protect industry. What happened in 91? Okay, why did that whole system of deregulation take place? Why were tariffs cut? Why was the rupee significantly devalued? Okay, we have to be competitive. I mean, tariffs is all about competition. Today, industry is pretty good, very strong. Many companies, which are both global companies, Indian companies, everyone, and there are lots of them who are internationally competitive and doing a good job. But India is still tiny when it comes to manufacturing. One of the biggest benefits that China has is scale. So we need the scale also. Now, many industries in India have scale. Okay, the steel industry has scale, the cement industry has scale. So there are many such industries. Okay, but everybody should have scale if they have to be competitive. Actually, how you can be competitive with very low tariffs is really the challenge.
it's not that this will be the end of the industry, even if the high tariff comes on India, but definitely it will be a setback for exports in many of the sectors, including the sector where high tariffs are expected. For example, auto component, or even for the gems and jewelry where the value itself is very high. These will be the sector where we will be impacted. But I don't expect that, assuming if the tariff comes, the tariff to the order of 25% will come on India. First of all, we are of the view that probably it may not come, and even if the tariff comes, it will not be so high so as to distract that. The issue is that if the tariff comes, let us say we are talking about a reciprocal tariff of 10%, whether that is going to absorb by Indian industry, whether that is going to be shared between exporter and importer, so that probably it may hit in some of the sector, the bottom line of the company may not be the top line of the company, and export to that extent may not be impacted, though profitability may take a hit.
That's the word coming in from experts on India's potential decision to slash tariffs on the US. Let's